We've been saying for years that not only is politics/government inherently evil, but it is also a complete and total joke. Perhaps after decades and decades of electing the lesser of two evils, people are finally starting to wake up to this charade. There's a noticeable shift as the majority of people are turning away from mainstream politics. This is part and parcel with the mainstream turning away from the mainstream media. Mainstream television programming, and is called programming for a reason, is in terminal decline. Cable cutting is now a thing. People are finally just turning off the propaganda. And as that happens, we are witnessing absolute hilarity in the status quo of politics. The politicians themselves reflect the diminishment. The internet has beamed a bright light on the US political system and revealed the squalor. Hillary, for instance, should be under indictment, but reports circulating widely on the internet indicate that if indicted, she will release the 900 FBI files on prominent DC politicians and others that she purloined while First Lady. Yes, you heard that right. The US's most prominent politician is likely to be brought up on charges, but in order to avoid them is blackmailing most every important leader in Washington. Her husband, Bill Clinton, is on the campaign trail with her, but is being pursued by several of the women he apparently raped, and thus is not helping much. It doesn't really matter though, because almost literally, absolutely no one is showing up to even hear what she has to say. In Texas recently, admittedly not a Democrat stronghold, 6 people showed up to welcome Hillary. Often she is speaking in front of absolutely tiny crowds counted in the dozens, not even hundreds. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Bush-Clinton 2016 ticket, Jeb has been treated like a nobody. He's moped and brooded his way through his campaign and recently had to ask his 30-strong audience to applaud on cue.
I think the next president needs to be a lot quieter, but send a signal that we're prepared to act in the national security interests of this country to get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
Even more recently, Jeb was speaking at a Rotary Club meeting when the organizers asked him to stop. They weren't kidding either. He didn't get 5 minutes or even one more minute. They started the music mid-sentence and basically ran him off stage.
I can promise you the best way to show respect outside of rebuilding our military, two men and women uniform, is to fix that mess as fast as I can. That's it. Thank you. They're kicking me out the door. They're kicking me out the door.
And that's when Jeb isn't out in the early dusk hours on backstreet Dunkin' Donut drive-thrus harassing people to care about him. There are 2 candidates, however, who have seemed to catch the attention of the public: fascist Donald Trump and communist Bernie Sanders. But even with this, it shows a serious change. Neither Trump nor Bernie are promotions of the mainstream media. Yet they are getting attention, in some cases a lot. The reason being, in our estimation, is that people are grasping for something, anything new. They are tired of the old system and know that no matter who they choose, they're going to lose. Sadly, however, instead of grasping for something totally radical in the land of the free, like a candidate that at least thinks freedom and liberty are somewhat important, like Rand Paul, or even more so Ron Paul before him, they're looking to an ultra-fascist or an ultra-communist in their final flailing attempts to try something different. If they get their wish, it will either mean World War III as Trump begins bombing what's left of the planet yet unbombed by the US empire, or breadlines if communist Bernie Sanders decides to take top-down control of the economy. In the end, though, the US is over. This ship is going down no matter which puppet is selected to speak in front of the cameras. The biggest reason to doubt the intelligence and wisdom of any presidential candidate is that they actually want the job. How many people were clamoring to be the captain of the Titanic after it was already turned near right side up? We're not waiting around to see how it all turns out. We're already preparing for it and profiting from this ongoing train wreck, including at our upcoming TDV Internationalization and Investment Summit on February 18th in Acapulco, Mexico. And then we'll be planning for how we can rebuild the world once this archaic big government and central banking edifice collapses at an Acapulco from February 19th to 21st. The timing for these events couldn't be better. When you attend, you'll have the opportunity to interact with people like senior TDV gold analyst Ed Bugos, who's made people a fortune with his stock and option picks these past few months. But it doesn't stop there. We've got literally dozens of speakers over the 4-day period who can help educate you regarding your portfolio, second residencies and citizenships, offshore banking, precious metals purchases, and other critical information. The entire US financial and political system is in collapse. This video captured this week embodies exactly where the US is headed. It's of a Bernie Sanders bus, replete with a future you can believe in emblazoned on its side. Here's the video to watch to see how that story ends.